Hello everyone, it's been a while since we've been together. Welcome back to another video Dvar with me, yours truly, Rabbi Chaitovsky, from my office here at BMH-BJ in Denver, Colorado. We are in the midst of a run of Torah portions that seem interesting on their own, full of fascinating stories of our trials and tribulations in the desert. But it would be nice to find a unifying theme or a unifying idea that might help us put all of these Torah portions into context. So, beginning with Baha'alotecha, when we were introduced to the concept of Aaron the priest lighting the menorah, the Torah portion ends with Miriam. Miriam challenging, together with Aaron actually, apparently challenging the integrity of Moshe as a leader. She spoke badly about her brother, and she paid a brief but swift price for that. And then the Torah portion moves on to the story of Shalach Lecha, the story of the Meraglim, the scouts. And we all know the devastating consequences of the negative report of the scouts. Two of them, Kalev and Yehoshua, tried to save the day by promoting and presenting a positive report about the chances of the Israelites moving into the land and accomplishing their goal of kibush haaretz, settling the land. But the majority report held sway, and that set the stage for devastation and demoralization that forced the Israelites to wander for the next 38 years. And then we had the Torah portion of Korach, which is the first example of a large-scale insurrection against the leadership of Moses and Aaron. And then we have this week's Torah portion of Chukat, which begins with a very strange law about ritual purity and impurity, a sensitivity to a degree of purity that doesn't really resonate as much with us today as it used to in, quote-unquote, the old days. Is there a unifying theme to all of these disparate stories? Each story stands on its own, but I think there is a unifying theme. When Miriam spoke badly about Moshe, she was thinking of herself. She was wondering, I am also a prophet. I also have to be ready to receive God's word at a moment's notice. Why is Moshe doing whatever Moshe is doing? And there are many midrashim as to Moshe may have separated from his wife, Moshe may have divorced his wife. They were not cohabiting as husband and wife at that time. And apparently Moshe's wife complained, and Miriam spoke out loud, spoke out of school about that, thinking not of Moshe or anyone else, but thinking of herself. The 10 spies who gave the negative report were told that they were also thinking of themselves. They were wondering about their inheritance in the land. And if this campaign were not to be successful, then the promised land would fall by the wayside and they would not have their share in it. And they were concerned, and they were talking about, let's delay, let's wait a while before we engage in this conquest. Again, thinking of themselves. Korach certainly comes across as thinking only of himself. The many midrashim that talk about the 250 followers of Korach paint a picture of each person having his or her own agenda, only thinking of themselves. And then Chukat, this law of super purity. When we talk about individuals, an individual thinking only of himself may not have a sensitivity to the pure and the impure. But the unifying theme of community makes it easy to understand the ups and the downs in each of these stories. Miriam did not think of community when she spoke badly about Moshe. The spies did not think of the overall welfare of the Israelite community and how what they were doing was undermining their faith in God and undermining their corporate move to take the promised land. Korach certainly was not thinking of community when he said what he did to undermine the very fabric of leadership in the community. When you think about community, and when you think about what it takes to have a cohesive, even among diversity, community, well, then you have a sensitivity to things that are pure and impure. We recognize that I am not an island to myself, but my thinking, my behavior affects others around me, affects the community. And the Torah wants us to recognize in this week's Torah portion that the sensitivity to community demands that each of us think beyond ourselves and think of how my actions affect the larger community. Do I only do things for myself, or do I do things that will promote and enhance what is best for the community? So we have a run of Torah portions that deal with the tension between individuals who are floundering for a moment, but floundering because they think only of themselves, and they fail to see what their role in the larger community is. The task of a rabbi at a synagogue is to try to promote community. The task of congregations is to come together, to be an edah, to be a kehillah kedosha, a holy congregation. And we have a series of Torah portions that make that point very eloquently in very different ways. Different stories, different actors, one community, one message. Shabbat Shalom.